Newport County will try to go into 2021 at the top of League 2, but standing in the way are Exeter City. What are we going to do with our latest round of picks as we do them on the bloody road? We'll take a little look at them next. Once again with another match prediction show today. We take a look at match number 21 and we're doing them on the bloody road. That's right. Of course, they are coming too thick, too fast, and it's just a little bit hard to keep up to date. Then we'll talk more about that in a minute. But before that, a big shout out, of course, to the patrons support the channel on the bloody road. Of course, yes, we're still trying to get up to 25 patrons. We're up to 23 right now, and I'm not driving, so it's okay. You can relax a little bit. But yes, so if you are interested, there should be a link down there, patreon.com/Roverseas, and also a big shout out, of course, to the subscribers. Of course, if you're new, make sure you bang the thumbs up, bang the subscribe. But yes, it's going to be a little bit of a different show today. We haven't got all the data, haven't got access to live internet, so it's going to be a lot condensed, and then hopefully when we get back to normality, I'll bring you up to date with some more juicy data. But anyway, we're going to jump in the deep end, of course, and jump straight into it, and hopefully get these pickaroonies coming at you right here, right now. So let's go in and take a recap, of course, how we all got on last time around out in League 2. So of course, this is what we're doing. We're not going to, I know this is going to hurt you, it's going to upset you, but we're not going to review your picks today. I've got the data in as much as I've got the snapshots of your picks, and I'm going to redo them the next time we can have a bit more time, because the turnaround time from Boxing Day to these ones is very limited. So we're going to hold back on that. But anyway, let's go back, of course, and take a look at those games. One pick I didn't have on here, and I don't know if I covered it previously, was the Grimsby up against Bradford game. That ended up 2-1 in favour of Bradford. Of course, Grimsby no longer has Ian Holloway, so guess what? I don't care no more about Grimsby. But they lost anyway. Lee Novak on the score sheet, and Levy Sutton as well in a 2-1 win. Harry Clifton getting the 1-0 goal for Grimsby. As you can see, I don't have that pick here, but it does. You might have it in there, but I just want to let you know about the scores. Kicking on further though, let's take a look at it. Cambridge United, they took on Leyton Orient, and that ended up as a 2-2 draw, I believe. And again, I am a little bit stretched for what I can tell you, what I could show you. In fact, 2-2 was my final score. 2-1 was the real deal. Of course, goals on the day. Wes Houlihan on the score sheet for Cambridge. Paul Mullen as well. Danny Johnson on the score sheet for Leyton Orient, as they got nothing out of it. Cambridge with a big fat 3 points, and they're heading to the final game of the calendar year with a W. Meanwhile, moving forward, Exeter City took on Forest Green Rovers. That ended up all square, 1-1 in the end. Archie Collins on the score sheet for Exeter. Aaron Collins on the score sheet for the Vegans, giving themselves a share of the spoils. Meanwhile, Scunthorpe, they played Mansfield and they lost in a 5-goal Bobby Dazzler. George Lapsey on the score sheet, Emmanuel Oredorusi with a big fat OG, and Jordan Bowery on the score sheet for Mansfield. Farad Rosen with a big fat OG, and Josh McAteer, I believe, with the goals for Scunthorpe on this one. But unfortunately, they got nothing. All 3 points went to Mansfield, and of course, they move up the table a little bit with that one. Meanwhile, Southend, they did beat Colchester in the Essex Derby there. 2-0 final score. Good result that for Southend. Simeon and Canola on the score sheet with Tiffany Deng as well, giving them the 3 points. Colchester, I went with Colchester myself. Unfortunately, I got nothing. Kicking on forward, Carlisle against Bolton was a bit of a Bobby Dazzler 6-goal thriller on that bad boy. 3-3 in the end. And I believe Carlisle had a 3-goal lead on this one. Goals: Aaron Hayden, Lewis Alessandra, and Omari Patrick on the score sheet. George Thompson, Nathan Defalonzo, of course, ex-Rover, and Peter Kisso on the score sheet as well. He also got himself sent off late on that game, but they shared the spoils, and of course, point right down the middle there. I went with the 2-0 win for Carlisle, but unfortunately, I was wrong. Cheltenham against Stevenage, that ended up as a 1-1 draw as well, probably more favourable for Stevenage on that one. The goal scores for this ended up as, what do we have on this one? Maybe I can bring it over, I can actually have a little read of it. What do we have? It's quite hard to do this on the road with limited internet access, in fact, zero internet access. I actually did this before we left. Liam Sercombe on the score sheet with Jack Olchingson on the score sheet as well for Stevenage, as they shared the points as well. Meanwhile, cooking on for Crawley against Newport also ended up all square. Of course, Newport not in the best of form of late, but of course they're keeping up their unbeaten run here. Ryan Haynes on the score sheet for Newport, with Mickey Dimitrov with a big fat OG, and Taran Akelala get himself sent off for Crawley on that one. But again, I got them on bang on the bloody nose. Meanwhile, of course, Morecambe, my other tip for the top, or my tip for promotion, or I've got a little soft spots for. Up against Grimsby in the end, they came out top with a 3-1 win. Carlos Mendes Gomez with a couple of goals, and Adams Phillips as well. Matthew Pollock got the 1-0 goal for Grimsby, and again made it back-to-back defeats for them. Without Holloway, you made the bad call there, of course, or you know, the decision to let him go was wrong. I think he would have turned things around. I think there was new owners or something like that. I don't know. Kicking off forward, Oldham against Harrogate ended up as a 2-1 win, I believe, for Harrogate. Yes, indeed. 2-1 win for Harrogate in the end. George Thompson with a couple of goals. Conor McKinley with a big fat penalty, and Bobby Grant got himself sent off for Oldham, but they got nothing out of it. Port Vale, though, against Barrow ended up as a 2-0 win for Barrow. A good result for them. Scott Quinley, Patrick Brock on the score sheet as well. Actually, went with a 3-1 for Port Vale. I think their season's fallen to bits. Well, talking about Port Vale, not Barrow. I think they've actually got a bit of a new manager bounce at the moment. Salford City against Walsall ended up as a 2-0 win. In the end, James Wilson on the score sheet, Luke Burgess as well. I went with the 1-0, so not too shabby. And then wrapping it up there, Tranmere against Bradford ended up as a 1-0 win for Bradford. Wow. They're turning up. Lee Novak with a goal again. Actually went with a 2-1 win for Tranmere. And as you can see, I got myself 5, which usually is in probably the shit-faced gang, I think. But like I said, we're not going to look at your picks now, unfortunately, and it's going to be the way it is for these collection of videos. But the table, though, looks just like this. Newport County lead the charge, 38 points on the board. The Vegans are second, 37. Carlisle are still in third, despite a draw, of course. Cheltenham, Morecambe and Salford and Exeter make up your playoffs. Stevenage and Southend, they are going down at the moment. Bolton, they're doing all right. It's still within striking distance, potentially, of the playoffs. Will they do it? We'll have to wait to see. And again, we do have a live action prediction league, but of course, we're not looking at your picks right here, right now. We're going to, of course, skip them. I'm going to roll them over into a double bubble prediction review next time around when we have a bit more time to take a look at these, because there is a bit more time coming around the corner when the FA Cups and things come around. But anyway, let's get into the next round of matches then, shall we? Of course, because I want to get these out there, the benchmarks, the sort of thumbprints where you can put your own predictions. Again, as you can see, we are driving through, I think, South Carolina. Is that right, sweetheart? Yes, it is. She's don't like this because she has to get my verbals constantly in her face while we're driving. She doesn't like it. But anyway, we're going to try and make it get quick through. Okay, let's take a look at the next one then. Stevenage taking on at Cambridge, taking place on, of course, the 29th of December. Let's get into this one now. They play each other. Again, I've got limited stats and form and favour, but I'm going to give you what I got. Heading into this, of course, they played in the last 6. There's 4 wins for Cambridge, 1 win for Stevenage, 1 draw heading into this, of course. And last time out, in fact, in Stevenage was a 1-1 draw. That was back in September 2019. The goal Sam Smith and Jason Cowley on the score sheet in a 1-1 draw. Heading into this, of course, Cambridge, a bit ropey-dopey form at the moment, 3 wins and 3 defeats at the moment. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat the past 5 games actually for Stevenage. That 1 defeat was against Carlisle, and a 4-0 loss. That was all the way back. When was that? Back in the 19th of December. Quick look at the situation and the bookies on this one, if I can see it. Oh, I can't really see it. Goodness, I don't really have the odds, and not really anyway. We're going to have to bypass the odds. But for me, I just want to get these picks out there so you can, of course, join in yourself. I've gone with on this one a Stevenage loss on this 2-0 win in the end for Cambridge to take the 3 points and keep on moving on. Keep their dreams of course, playoffs moving on and promotion even. Next up, we have Bradford against Port Vale. Of course, new manager bounce with Bradford. Now they play each other in the last 6. These 2 wins for Bradford, 1 win for Port Vale, and 3 draws. Last time out in Valley Parade. So up here, lads, even on the road, it's up here. It was a 2-1 win for Port Vale back in October 2019. David Worrell and Will Atkinson on the score sheet. James Vaughan for the penalty spot, of course, last time around, but unfortunately they lost. Heading into this, though, Bradford, of course, unbeaten now in the last 4 games, winning 3 on the spin. Meanwhile, Port Vale without a win in 4. That's right, back-to-back defeats for them as we pass a humongous bloody V. Again, can't look at the bookies odds. I really can't. It's that tiny. I haven't got it. But I think Bradford might have turned a corner here with the new manager. I don't know who has been sworn in. If you know, put it in the comment section down below. But for me, I've gone with on this one. What have I gone with? I've gone with a 1-1 draw on this one. Of course, Bradford unbeaten in a bit of form. Port Vale looking for some more points, but unfortunately, they're not going to get it the win. They're going to get the point, and that's all they've got going on. Next up, though, we have Walsall. They're taking on, of course, Scunthorpe again on the 29th. They played each other in the last 6. These 3 wins for Walsall, 2 wins for Scunthorpe, and 1 draw. Last time out in Walsall was back in September 2019 in League 2. James Clark on the score sheet in a 1-0 win. Heading into this, though, Walsall actually in pretty good form at the moment. Just 1 defeat the past 6. That was, of course, against Salford the other day. Meanwhile, Scunthorpe, though, 1 win in the past 5 for them. That one was against Barrow back in the 15th of December. Of course, no bookies odds on this one again. Sorry, but I've gone with the 2-0 win for Walsall. They're looking good. Scunthorpe looking roping. I don't think they've got what it's in the tank this season to make anything more than a mid to bottom push this season. Next up, though, we have the Vegans, of course, taking on Crawley Town. Let's take a close look at this one then, shall we? Now, they played each other in the last 6. Sees 4 wins for the Vegans, 2 draws and nothing for Crawley. Of course, last time out in Forest Green was a 3-1 win for Forest Green. Joseph Milson on the score sheet with a couple of goals, actually. Aaron Collins as well, and Mason Bloomfield on the score sheet for Crawley in a 3-1 loss. That's back in October 2019. Heading into this, though, what do we have on this one? Heading into this, the Vegans actually unbeaten in the last 4, winning without a defeat. In fact, just 1 defeat past 6 for them. That 1 defeat was against Oxford in the Papa John's Trophy. All square on that one. I think they lost on penalties in the end. Meanwhile, Crawley, though, coming to this unbeaten in the last 6, picking up 2 wins and 4 draws to boot. So 2 teams finding it difficult to lose at the moment. Shoot, did you shoot? Just what I could have told you. Let's take a quick look at where that would be in the table. Of course, Crawley coming into this, where are they in the table? They are actually coming into this in 10th, and for them they could actually go as high as potentially into 7th spot. That's playoff talks. Meanwhile, Forest Green Rovers coming to this in 2nd, and for them they could go, in fact, top of the bloody pops. That's right. For me, though, I've gone with the Vegans on this one to take this with a 3-1 win in the end. Next up, we have Grimsby Town taking on Oldham Athletic. Let's have a look at this one then, shall we? Now, Grimsby Town, of course, new manager potentially. I don't know if there's a caretaker or a full-time thing, but anyway, heading into this, they played each other 6 times the last 6. 4 wins for Oldham, nothing for Grimsby, and 2 draws, including a draw last time at Boundary Park. However, last time they played each other in Grimsby was a 3-0 win for Oldham. Sam Surridge, of course, now at Swansea, I think, with a couple of goals there. Josie Baxter as well in a 3-0 win for Oldham. That's back in September 2018 in League 2. Heading into this, though, Oldham in an okay kind of form, 3 wins, 3 defeats in the past 6. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 6 games for Grimsby. That was against Scunthorpe, of course. Again, no bookies odds, but I'll tell you what, on the table, Oldham are in a bit of a situation right now, where they're looking beneath them to see how close they are to the drop. They come to this just above the relegation zones. 19 points on the board, but a win for them. They could actually go as high as 19th, whereas Oldham come to this in 14th, and a win for them. They could go high as top 10. I've gone with Oldham on this one. Yep, my love affair with Grimsby is over. I think Oldham will get the 3 points, and Grimsby are in a bit of trouble. Kicking off forward, though, we have Leyton Orient taking on Southend. Of course, it's a South London-ish affair. Heading into this, of course, the last 6 between 2 sides. 2 wins for Leyton Orient, 3 for Southend, and 1 draw. Of course, last time at Brisbane Road, it's up here. It was a 2-0 win for Leyton Orient. That's back in the Papa John's Trophy last season. It was a 2-0 win. Daniel Happert on the score with Dale Gorman as well. Isaac Hitchinson getting himself sent off for Southend. Last time they played each other in the league was all the way back at Brisbane Road in League 1 in 2009. It was on Boxing Day, around about this time, 11 years ago. Goodness gracious me, 2-1 win for Southend. Heading into this, though, what do we have on this one then, shall we? Of course, Leyton Orient coming to this. What do we have on them? What is their form heading into? I don't even know, you know. There we go. Leyton are actually coming into this in absolute terrible form, just 1 win in the past 6, and the rest have been defeats. Meanwhile, Southend on the flip side, unbeaten the last 5. They may have found the winning formula, or at least a ticket to keep up in this division. So not too bad form for Southend. They actually come into this 23rd spot in the relegation zone still, but a win for them. They could actually get out of it at the expense of maybe Barrow or Grimsby, whereas Leyton Orient still have aspirations of playoffs. They're in 12th, and a win for them. They could go as high as 9th in the league. I've gone with against the grain here. Of course, Leyton Orient with shitty form, Southend with good form, but I've gone with Leyton Orient in the bloody end, though. Mansfield Town taking on Salford City, where it is, life is so pretty. Now, they play each other. I've only got 1 record of them playing each other. Of course, that was last time out in League 2, and of course in October 2019 it was a 2-1 win for Salford in Mansfield. Of course, Jake Jervis on score sheet, Adam Rooney as well, Nicky Maynard on score sheet for Mansfield. Heading into this, though, Mansfield just 1 defeat the past 6 for them. That was against Carlisle midway through the month. 1 defeat the past 6 as well for Salford. That was against Lincoln City, or Leicester City Academy in the old Papa John's Trophy. Of course, they lost on penalties. They come to this unbeaten the last 4 in the League 2. Heading into this, of course, look at the situation at the table. Of course, Salford are in 6th spot. That's playoff talk. For them, they could go into the top 3. Mansfield climbing the table a little bit into 19th for the moment. For them, they could go 1 spot better off at the expense of Bradford into 18th in the end. I've gone with the 2-0 win for Mansfield. Salford will struggle with this one. Next up, we have Knox County. When I say Knox County, I mean Newport County, the leaders, taking on Exeter City, of course, the big one. Of course, the leaders heading into this played each other the last 6 times. There's been 2 wins apiece and 2 draws. Last time time out in Newport was a 2-0 win for Exeter. That was Matchday with a couple of goals himself, giving Exeter the win. That was in the Papa John's Trophy, of course, last season in October. Meanwhile, last time picture in the league in Newport was a 1-1 draw back in September 2019. Tristan Abrahams on the score sheet for Newport from the best spot. Lee Martin getting the goal as well for Exeter heading into this. Of course, Exeter though, form book not very good, just 1 win in the past 6 for them. That was against Tranmere. Meanwhile, on the flip side, heading into this bad boy, Newport County without a win in 4 themselves, picking up 2 defeats, 2 draws as well. Heading into, it's not great for them really. Look at the situation out of the table. Of course, Newport County coming to this 1 point clear of Forest Green. They need a win to remain top of the pops. A draw will not probably do, as Carlisle and Forest Green potentially have the ability to leapfrog them heading into 2021. On the flip side, Exeter coming to this in 7th, and for them, they could go top 4, lads. Top bloody 4. I've gone with a 3-1 for Newport County. The form is not there, but I've gone with belief. And Newport County have what it takes to go all the way. Next up, though, we have Bolton Wanderers against my boys Morecambe. Of course, heading into this, the last couple of encounters sees a 1 win apiece. Of course, last time out, I believe it was a friendly back in July 2015. It was 2-1 win for Morecambe. I've got no real records of anything played at over in Bolton at the Reebok or wherever you want to call it. Heading into this, though, Morecambe winning 4 on the spin in all competitions. And in fact, just 5 wins in the past 6 games. The only hiccup was against Newport. So they look good right now. They look the real bloody deal. Meanwhile, 1 win in the past 5 for Bolton. That was against Cheltenham a couple of games back, of course. Heading into this, what are we looking at? Tesla, weapon bias. We're overtaking a flipping Musk's Tesla. Get out of it. Of course, heading into this, though, of course, what are we looking at this then? Bolton coming to this in 15th spot. Win for them, they could go 10th in the table. Morecambe are actually in 5th, and win for them, they could go 2nd in the bloody league. Would you believe it, Morecambe? Would you bloody believe it? I'll believe it. I've gone with the draw, at least, on this one, the 2-2 draw in the end. Next up, we have Barrow taking on Tranmere, another Northwest affair. Of course, last 6 sees 2 wins for Barrow, 3 for Tranmere, and 1 draw. Last time out was in the Northern National League Premier. Of course, it was a 1-1 draw back in January 2018. Brian Harrison on score sheet for the penalty spot. James Norwood, of course, for Tranmere getting a goal, sharing the spoils there. Meanwhile, of course, Barrow coming to this, back-to-back wins for them, beating Cheltenham, beating Port Vale, 6 points on the board for them. Meanwhile, Tranmere coming to this, 3 wins in the past 6, 2 wins in the past 5, if you want to look at it that way. So not great form for Tranmere, though. So we could see a bit of a weird one here. Of course, Barrow coming to this in 21st spot, but for them, they could actually go as high as 19th, whereas Tranmere are actually in 13th, but for them, they could go 9th in the table in bloody deed. I've gone with a 2-1 win on this one for Tranmere, 3 points in the bag. Barrow may have got back-to-back wins, but I think Tranmere have the quality that will take the 3 points. Into the final 2 here, we have Colchester United taking on Cheltenham in the Battle of the Seas, of course. Now, the last 6 sees 2 wins for Colchester, 3 for Cheltenham, and 1 bloody draw. Last time out in Colchester was a 2-0 win for Cheltenham. That's back in February 2020. Anthony May and Chris Hussey on the score sheet for Cheltenham. Uwama Suwumi getting himself sent off for Colchester in a 2-0 loss. Heading into this, though, without a win in 5, that's Cheltenham. Their last victory was against Exeter all the way back at the start of December. Meanwhile, without a win in 4, that is Colchester, 3 defeats on the spin for them. Looking ropey, bloody dopey at the moment. Look at the situation out in the league. We have Colchester in 11th spot at the moment. A win for them. They could go into the playoffs at the expense, maybe a 7th spot potentially. Whereas Cheltenham are actually in 4th spot. A win for them. They could go 2nd in the bloody league. I've gone with on this one another draw. Point split right down the middle with a 2-2 draw in the end. And finally, we have Harrogate taking on Carlisle. Let's take a close look at this one then, shall we? We have no recent records between these two sides, according to my knowledge, but of course Harrogate coming to this winning 2 of the past 3. Their only hiccup was against Salford a couple of games back. Meanwhile, Carlisle coming to this back-to-back games without a win, but actually just 1 loss of the past 6. That 1 loss was against the Vegans, of course, 1-0 back on the 19th of December. Heading into this, though, what do we have on this one? Harrogate coming to this in 16th spot, but a win for them. They could actually go as high as 10th in the table, whilst Carlisle coming to this in 3rd, and a win for them, and a draw, and everything else going their way. They could go top of the pops. I've gone with the 3-1 win for Carlisle for them to potentially go top of the pops. What do you guys think? Be sure to get your picks in. I know we didn't see your picks earlier in the day, earlier in the show, but be sure to get them in anyway. I'm going to do a double bubble once we get back, and not on the road, because I can't really do it. But anyway, if I'm right, which I bloody well hope so, this is what the table will look like at the end of it. Newport County leading the charge. The Vegans up to 2nd, or remain in 2nd, and Carlisle will remain in 3rd. Cheltenham up to 4th. It's pretty much as you were, really. Morecambe into 5th, Carlisle, Cambridge 6th, and Salford into 7th. Down the foot, Stevenage, Southend going down, of course. Yes, be sure, get your picks in nice and early for La Prediction League. Of course, we're going to try and keep up the heat as the calendar year comes to a close. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, bang the old thumbs up, and of course, bang the old subscribe if you're new. Also, check out the links down below, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. They're all in there, and of course, Patreon as well. think we'll have one more pick before 2021 comes around. It's the New Year's Day pickaroonies. We'll hope to have them, of course, with you very, very soon. But until then, get your picks in. Be safe on the road. Be safe travelling. Make sure you got your masks. I've got my mask right here, of course, and then we'll be back very, very soon. Until then, though, I'm out.